Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Asad Yaqub and I welcome you to my most demanded Ielts video. Well guys, I would like to narrate my story today and then I'm going to relate this story with your story. Once upon a time, I used to teach spoken English and somebody demanded from me to teach Ielts. I went to a friend of mine who was actually running an Ielts coaching center. I requested him to teach me something about Ielts as I don't know how to teach this course. I want to do it. And he made me sit in his audio lab. He played one Ielts test. He gave me the question booklet and after 30 minutes, when I completed that, he said, okay, now check your answers. I checked my answers. Only 10 to 15 answers were right. Other answers were wrong. Then I asked him, I said, oh, I've got only 10 to 15 right answers. English language teacher I was at that time, right? Then he said, okay, take this test again. That was the very humble beginning when I was interested to become an Ielts trainer with no background of Ielts, with zero knowledge of Ielts. And today who I am, what I am, that is in front of you. My story in the past is actually your story now. Because you want to do Ielts, some of you are stuck with 10 to 15 correct answers, you are struggling with Ielts, you don't know what to do. Ielts is a monster, Ielts is the great hurdle in your life and you don't know how to come out of that. Now let's go back to my story, and my story in the past is your story at present. Well, afterwards I contacted another friend of mine and I said, well, I want to teach Ielts. You know, different people have different attitude. His attitude was, Ielts, you want to teach Ielts? It's nothing. When he said it's nothing, then he said it's very easy. Then he said you can teach it. Then he said there is no problem. Cambridge books are available. Why don't you just go through them and teach Ielts? And I was like, okay, I want to meet you. If you just guide me, if you please tell me how to teach Ielts and all that. I went to him. He just told me, writing, task 1, report writing or letter writing for general training. Task 2, essay writing. Listening, 40 questions you have to answer in half hour. Reading, 3 passages you have to answer. Speaking, you already teach spoken English, so you will have no trouble. He said, Asad, go teach. So at this point, I would like to relate my story with your story. You need to find a guide who is a positive person, who is like my friend who supported me, who said, come on, Ielts is not a problem. That guide can be me, or your Ielts trainer, Ielts teacher, any of your family members, any friend, anybody around you who gives you the faith and confidence that Ielts is not a very hard nut to crack, or for you actually. Not for others it can be difficult, but for you Ielts is not a hard nut to crack. That friend of mine said the same thing. He said, Asad, for you it is not difficult. I said, I want to teach Ielts, I don't know how to, I think it's very difficult and all that. He said, Asad, it's not difficult for you. When he said this, that gave me some confidence. Yes, it can be difficult for others, but actually it is not difficult for me. That feeling of confidence took me to the next level. So you need a friend or a teacher or a trainer, and I'm also trying to play my role. Now the next step, I decided to myself, if I want to teach Ielts, I want to take Ielts tests. Because without taking Ielts test, how would I justify that I'm an Ielts trainer who has never taken Ielts test himself? So I registered myself to British Council and they had an offer. The offer was like, if you take Ielts test from British Council, there is 1 day workshop and you had to pay 1,000 rupees for that. And I said, okay, that's fine. I paid 8,800 for my IELTS test, and then I paid around 1,000 for that workshop. So in total I paid 9,800, and I registered myself for actual IELTS test and one-day IELTS workshop. I attended that one-day workshop, and in that workshop I learned so many things, but then I realized the best thing that I learned from that workshop, that was the pizzas which they offered for lunch. Sometimes you go to attend any workshop, any training session, and at the end you say, well, lunch was yummy. Training wasn't that good, but lunch was yummy. So pizzas were very, very delicious. Anyways, that workshop gave me more confidence, and as I had my IELTS test ahead of me, I started going through Cambridge books. Believe you me, for reading, I didn't know what is skimming, what is scanning, how to read the questions. Even I was not familiar with the question type. For listening, yes, I was a little confident about listening because my listening was good and the questions were not that difficult. And then we had writing. I had absolutely no idea about writing, that how to write essay, how many types of essays are there, how many paragraphs should be written, and the other stuff like that. But I prepared, I worked hard, I followed the pattern, and thank God, leaf fell on me. Thank God I was able to achieve 2 8 bands. That was speaking and listening. I got 8 band, and then somewhere I got 7.5, and overall it was around 8 band. I guess 7.5, yeah. So this is how I started, and then I went on and on and on and on, and today when you guys are watching this video, now you know who I am. So all the humble beginnings, the foundation stone of a multi-story building, the foundation stone of a 100-story building is always a small stone which is laid in the ground, and that is what we call foundation stone. So you need to muster all your courage, you need to gather all your confidence, and you should find some positive people. Now, when I wanted to become an IELTS teacher, if there could be a negative person in my life and I would have asked him, excuse me, I want to become an IELTS teacher, and he would have said, IELTS teacher, you want to become? You cannot become IELTS teacher. You don't have exposure, You don't have the vision of becoming an IELTS teacher, You can't do it. IELTS is a very difficult test. Reading is so tough. But thank God, there were positive people around me, with me, who supported me. And as we say in English, where there is a will, there is a way. So if a novice like me could achieve 8 band in 2 modules and 7.5 in 2 modules and all that, then anyone can do it, right? So that's all, guys. Just you need positive people, you need good guidance, right? And you need a motivation, and that should be intrinsic motivation. Something from your inside should come outside and change the world. Not the outside thing should go inside and blow out all the light inside, or candles inside. You need someone to spark. You need someone to ignite that very spark inside you, and once that spark is ignited, you will be unstoppable. Then you are going to be so much self-motivated, self-guide. You're going to be self-motivated, self-guide, very positive, and the negative people will fail to stop you from your goals or from achieving your goals. That's all, guys. Thank you very much. This is my message to all my IELTS candidates, to all my students across the world, whether you are in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, or you are in Africa, any part of Africa, Australia, Canada. People watch my videos all over the world. Same IELTS trainer is in front of you who wanted to become an IELTS teacher and looking around like, can I become IELTS teacher? What should I do? So if I can do it, I am the dull student. I've always been a dull student. Dull means who was not active actually. So if I can do it, you can do it with grace and much better than me. That's all guys. I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. This is what we call to prayer. It's going on here. I bid you farewell from this Kutan colony, Jagran Valley. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.